the usual. All right, you're live. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Let me grab the other two. All right, Substack. Let's see if I can actually find Substack. This is going to be a joke. Oh, God, Substack again. Substack's missing, of course. There's a freaking surprise. All right, TikTok I've got going. Oh, God. Now I get to figure out where Substack is hiding. Oh, God. It did it to me again, where it goes live, but it kind of disappears on me. It disappeared on me. Does anybody know if I'm live on Substack? I'm sure I am, but I can't find it. Oh, they drive me crazy with this. Anybody know if I'm live on Substack? Oh, I hate this. Would it be under post? It's not there. Where the hell is this thing? Scheduled? Oh, shit. No, it's 6:02. I'm live. Can you send me the link or put the link in the chat there? Drives me nuts. It does this and it won't. Literally, of all things, it doesn't give me the link. I'm like, okay, Substack, would you like to give the link to the actual people creating the show? Hold on. Maybe if I go to the website home. Yeah, but then I'm on. Well, that could work. I'm in the chat. All right, that could work. I think I'm in the Substack chat. Okay, fine. Although it's not showing anybody actually chatting. Is that because nobody's chatting? All right. Oh my God. I don't know what the hell. No, I'm not. I'm on the website. The website just disappears on me. It has a link for me to use that's a little bit of a more useful link. And, now I see it. Thanks, Susan. Thanks, NJ. No, it just drives me a little bonkers because it just disappears. Oh my God. It's okay now, Amanda. I finally thought, okay, why don't I just go to my website my public website on Substack and look at the first post. So that at least is working. All right. It's working. Okay. Let me start TikTok here. We've got all that bad Canadian wildfire air coming in tonight, unfortunately. That's going to suck. Tomorrow's going to be really bad with air quality. Anyway, there we go. TikTok is loading. Hello, TikTok. Hello, everybody. All right. So I think tonight's show will be shorter because I'm going to come on later to respond to Idiot giving all of his conspiracy theories that are going to be out of control, as you know, this evening. So I was thinking maybe doing that. I don't think I have a choice but to come on later because Trump's going to be giving that speech and it's going to be insane. So I kind of feel like I'm going to have to come on and talk about it. So maybe we come on and we try to watch Trump live is what I'm thinking, probably. So that would be my guess. On everywhere. I'll do it. Substack, I can try. I will try on Substack too. It's 9:00 Eastern is when it's supposed to be on, I think. 9:00 Eastern. The smoke has not arrived here yet. It's arriving this evening. The smoke from Canada is supposed to hit Washington, D.C. this evening, unfortunately. So, yay. That's going to be fun. But yeah, Trump's thing is 9:00 this evening. Not clear who's going to cover it. The networks, a couple of the networks, I think NBC and CBS maybe already said they're not covering it. The other networks aren't giving an answer yet. Part of the problem for the networks is 9:00 Eastern, 8:00 Central. Part of the problem for the networks is Trump has done this before. I mean, Trump talking about elections is going to be lies. And they've been sued before. Fox News had to pay almost $800 million because they parroted Trump's election lies and they got sued over it. So the networks are in a really weird legal position, Fox News included, because they're not quite sure how to cover this stuff. Thank you, Yvonne. So for the networks, I think my suspicion is for most of the networks, like even CNN's in a weird position. I don't know. Maybe CNN, I don't know what CNN does to try to cover the fact that they, so they can make clear we're not necessarily agreeing. Hey, Chucky in Sweden. Right? I'm just not sure. So we'll see. We'll see. But anyway, yeah, so Trump's talking to the nation tonight. There's a couple things with Trump. Look, when Trump says he's giving a big speech, it doesn't mean it's a big speech. When Trump says he's going to break news, it usually means he's not breaking news. Trump Every single time Trump has announced a big speech coming, it's been bullshit. What was the one during the war? Remember the one during the war? Towards the beginning, I don't know if it was the beginning of the war or when it was that Trump was announcing some huge speech, and we thought, wow, this is going to be interesting. I thought of that, Cricket, and we thought, oh, this is going to be what news is he breaking? And then he got up there and talked for 20 minutes about literally nothing, and we all went, what the hell was that? Like, that was very weird, right? That was very weird. So that was a little strange. So I don't. A couple things here. One, Trump isn't going to tell us anything useful tonight. I mean, I can read you. Let me read you the New York Times, since TikTok is being snippy lately. Let's read the New York Times. So if TikTok can't say they don't like the New York Times. President Trump has sowed doubts about the integrity of U.S. elections for over a decade. What he has not done is furnish proof to support his claims that there was widespread fraud, that foreign powers have hijacked votes, or that federal or state officials plotted to rig either the 2020 election he lost to President Biden or other contexts he has questioned. This is the New York Times. Mr. Trump is likely to revisit some of those assertions during a primetime address to the country Thursday that is expected to center on election security, potentially intensifying his efforts to undercut faith in the results of American elections, the Times says. More New York Times. His false claims, however, have at times either exaggerated or obscured some genuine security concerns around elections, particularly as they relate to foreign meddling. In recent years, the Times says, foreign adversaries, especially Russia and Iran, have sought to influence presidential election cycles through a mix of online propaganda and hack and leak operations. Now, we know this, by the way. This has been reported over and over way before Trump came into office. But no evidence has ever emerged showing that vote counts have been manipulated or corrupted. In other words, Iran and Russia tried to get involved with social media stuff to influence people, but there's never been any evidence that they were able to break into machines and corrupt the vote, this kind of stuff. No evidence has ever emerged, the New York Times says, showing that vote counts have been manipulated or corrupted. Intelligence reports, state audits of vote tallies, and lawsuits have repeatedly affirmed official results in 2020 and other years. No, there is no evidence of foreign manipulation of vote counts in recent U.S. elections, the Times says. Despite extensive state audits, there has never been any public evidence to corroborate claims showing foreign manipulation, either in the casting or tabulation of votes in the 2020 contest or other recent elections, the New York Times says. Many of Trump's own top officials at the end of his first term have repeatedly attested to this publicly, the Times says. New York Times goes on. Since he returned to office, I have to say that so TikTok doesn't take it out of context and go, what were you saying? The Times says, since he returned to office, Mr. Trump and some top officials have promised to reveal classified evidence of nefarious plots, either foreign or domestic in nature, to tamper with elections. So basically, as the New York Times says, Trump has repeatedly claimed he is going to have some, huge proof of elections being stolen, and there's never proof. Our elections are very safe in this country. We've gone through it before, but the Heritage Foundation, which is the biggest MAGA Republican think tank, concluded that we had no significant election fraud at all. Heritage said of people here illegally trying to vote, we had 41 over 50 years. 50. Since 1975 or so, 76, we've had 41 cases of somebody here illegally, either trying to register to vote, trying to vote, or something like that. Less than one a year. It doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. Also, impersonations too. It said in 20 years, or in around 2 billion votes, which is around 20 years, there were approximately 20 or 21, probably 20 or 21, something like that. I don't know what it was. What are you doing? Again, one a year, we had somebody trying to impersonate somebody else. One a year, which is crazy, right? Anyway. All right. All right, let's move on here. So Trump speaking tonight. I figure you might as well come back and watch. It's going to be crazy. TikTok is always dangerous, trying to watch anything dealing with elections because they get weirded out by anything discussing elections. So let's see what happens. But Trump is addressing the nation, so I'm not sure how we don't talk about it. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, WC was referring to the other guy. WC, not everybody knows. So like when they find out, there's not a problem with them going, oh my God, because they don't realize it until now. So I don't blame them. So don't jump on people for that. What else do we have? Oh, so a couple other stories. So anyway, we're going to do not too long of a show today because we're going to come back on tonight to watch Trump's creepy, bizarre election stuff that he's going his election speech, which is going to be really weird. But we'll come back for that tonight. But I always forget again. Keep the gifts coming, guys. I always forget to say this. Keep the gifts coming. TikTok, YouTube, etc. I do this for a living, so your gifts are very welcome. Super chats are always welcome too, like members on YouTube. It's that same kind of concept where you become a monthly subscriber. Very helpful. But yes, I'll be back tonight we're going to be here a little while right now anyway, but I'll be back tonight at 9:00 Eastern time, 8:00 Central. You can work your way down from there. That would be 3 hours from now, a little less than 3 hours from now. Thank you, Sadie, for people who are abroad. But Trump speaks, so I'm going to come on. I'll come on, put him in the background. I never know TikTok and YouTube how they feel about that, so I may have Trump. Oh, thank you, Rory. Thank you, Sadie, especially. Thank you, Sadie. Maybe I'll do this so the TV isn't on because I never know how TikTok feels about that. Yeah, no, he's an idiot. Gone through, obviously. So yeah, no, Trump's thing tonight is going to be goofy, but because he's using this to promote a larger fraud and could be doing some really bad things, it's important for us to talk about it and report on it. We don't for us. I mean, we don't have a choice. Some other stories. So CNN, this is a crazy story that just broke. Trump is selling early access to Truth Social is Trump's version of Twitter, right? Do we all know that? Truth Social is Trump's version of Twitter. And he's selling early access to it now to Wall Street. They came out today and said they're going to give Wall Street early access. If they're willing to pay, they can have early access to the Twitter feeds or the Truth Social feeds of Trump and like 9 other top accounts. Well, the top accounts tend to be, it's certainly Trump is the top account. And some of the other top accounts tend to be Kash Patel, Bobby Kennedy, or Robert Kennedy Jr., these guys. Well, basically, Trump is selling access to his policy announcements. Never in before of the presidency has anyone ever done this. Thank you, Heather. It's sickeningly corrupt. Trump routinely announces policy decisions on Truth Social. That's where he goes public with his policy decisions. When he fires people, when he hires people, his decisions about the war, they're on Truth Social. He's now selling his policy decisions first to Wall Street so they can make money off of it, and the rest of us won't know what Trump has decided. So anybody with money can pay extra to know what Trump has decided. CNN broke the story. It's insane. It is absolutely a level of corruption. Again, the level of, he's selling the presidency. It would be like Joe Biden or Barack Obama quite literally saying, I'm going to make decisions in the Oval Office and I'm going to release them first to anybody willing to pay. It's absolutely sick. You don't already have an account. You have to pay. He's giving early access to people who pay. Only the people who pay are going to get the tweet. That's what's going to happen. You're going to get the tweet later because you didn't pay. If you pay, you get the tweet early. That's how creepily bad this is. That's how freaking bad this is. Right. Well, okay, if you're paying... Yeah, okay, you're not listening to me. Right. Unless you are paying the Wall Street fee, you're not going to get the Truth Social tweet until later. That's what I'm telling you. All right. I'm going to stop repeating this because you're not getting it. Right. You have to get a Wall Street subscription to Truth Social, and then you'll get these tweets early. I doubt any of you have the Wall Street subscription to Truth Social. It's new, and it's probably going to be very expensive, would be my guess. So, first of all, I doubt any of you are paying for Truth Social, but if you are, you're not paying the Wall Street fee. That's for sure. This is insane stuff. It is absolutely, it's emolument. It's everything. It's absolutely sickening. Absolutely sickening. Yeah. And they even, the CEO announced it and talked about how important it was for people to buy access to this because Trump's tweets move. I say tweets, he calls them truths, but if you call them truths, nobody knows what they are. Trump's tweets move the market, meaning they affect the stock market. So the head of Trump's Truth Social says, thank you, son, appreciate that. Says, like, you need to subscribe to this because this is affecting them. This is, affecting the market. And it's like, that's why this is a problem, because this is affecting the market. The president is selling access to his decisions that affect the stock market. It's, again, he's literally making money off the presidency. But again, it's sickening. I mean, it's absolutely sickening. And there's, he's not even 2 years in. It's only going to get worse. Only going to get worse. Now, nothing to do with the Wall Street Journal. Now, this is Wall Street. Stocks and bonds. Thank you, Chazak. More corruption for the White House. New York Times. A White House teleprompter operator used his position to win around $100,000 by placing bets on the prediction market Kalshi about what Trump would say in his speeches. So the guy that ran the teleprompter for Trump. Oh, see you, Michael. That sounds fun. Let me know how it is. The guy who runs the teleprompter for Trump went and bet on Kalshi about what Trump's speech was going to be about, the speech that he had just read and put on the teleprompter. He made $100,000. Kalshi caught him, to their credit, right? Because they had systems in place to kind of catch this. Kalshi caught him. Here's my favorite line of the story. Mr. Perez is in discussions with federal regulators to settle allegations that he used inside knowledge of the president's speeches to place bets. So he's in discussions with federal regulators for a settlement. Trump's federal regulators who work for Donald Trump are working on a settlement with Donald Trump's staffer who cheated and to make $100,000 in these markets. But they're working on a settlement with Donald Trump's staffer. Now, there's a chance that Trump is pissed off at the guy, and maybe it'll be a fair settlement. There's also a chance that it's Donald Trump's buddy. So the settlement is going to be like every other settlement. It's going to be, oh, bad, right? Yeah. I worry that it's going to be some guy Donald Trump likes. And then what do you do, right? New York Times. Maggie Haberman at the White House today asks the White House press secretary a question. Maggie Haberman's New York Times reporter, very good reporter. Maggie says, the administration signed a mining deal with Kazakhstan for a little-known U.S. company. 6 days before the deal was signed, the president's older son, Don Jr., with other partners, took a 20% investment in the company related to the deal. What did the president know about his son's involvement in this arrangement, and when did he find out about it? Caroline Levitt, White House spokesperson. From my understanding, nothing. They would never do anything that would put the president in the place of a conflict of interest. New York Times. So he did not learn about it until it was the media? Levitt, that's my understanding. Let's repeat this. The Trump administration signed a mining deal with Kazakhstan with a little-known U.S. company involved. 6 days before the deal was signed, and nobody knew about it publicly, Trump's older son, Don Jr., with other partners, took a 20% investment in the company related to the deal. 6 days before the deal was signed, Don Jr. took an investment in the main American company working on the deal. And we're to believe it was just a coincidence that Don Jr. bought a 20% stake with his friends in a company that 6 days later Trump included in a major deal. As we said, the Hunter Biden stuff was $24 million. It was this much compared to these guys. This stuff never ends with these guys. Where was the other one? Let me show you this picture first, and then there's a big reflecting pool story today too. So Trump puts out a tweet today that was absolutely bizarre. Really sick, actually. Again, I don't know what's going on with these people. They think this is funny. I don't know if you're all going to get this. I think most of you are going to understand what the White House was doing today with this tweet. It is horrific. I'm going to show you first. Most of you, I think, are going to get this. When you write the word him with a capital H, It's referring to God and Jesus. That's referring to God and Jesus when you write him with a capital H. That is the only thing it means. You're supposed to, I mean, I don't always do that, but you're supposed to capitalize not just the word God, but him, like in a sentence, right? If you said, yeah, that's him, that's God, H should have a capital letter. The White House tweeted today that Trump is God. I mean, I don't understand. I really don't understand what they're doing with these guys and how they've got the Christian community on board. Not the Christian community, but the religious right community on board. This kind of stuff is so, I mean, again, like I'm Christian, but I don't really practice. This stuff is so offensive. It's offensive to me, and I'm not that like into it. It is, well, yeah. I mean, again, it's pretty fucked up. I mean, well, I don't even want to say the phrase, well, it is. People have accused him of being the Antichrist. I mean, that's something people are saying in the comments. I mean, it's like if you were super religious and cared about Trump, you would be worried about him writing things like this. You wouldn't be laughing. You'd say this is like anti-religious comments. This is blasphemy. This is mocking religion. It's mocking God. It's mocking Jesus. You don't do this crap. You don't do this crap. This is mocking God. You don't do it. And he does it. He's calling himself God again. He's called himself the Pope. He's called himself Jesus and compared himself to all of them. This is pretty sick stuff. The other thing, Washington Post did a huge story. As I said, we may go half an hour. We'll see. I'm not going to go too long tonight because we're going to come on later in 2.5 hours for Trump's crazy election speech. Washington Post did an amazing analysis of the reflecting pool. So we all know the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool, the sealant was peeling off. Trump tried to claim it was liberals, and we all knew he was lying. Washington Post determined he was lying. Big surprise. So Washington Post gets satellites of the reflecting pool, satellite photos. They look like satellite photos. And what did they discover? They had experts analyze it. And they discovered at least 7 main tears, 7 of them in the reflecting pool. Okay, 7. All right. And there was not just a couple tears. There were 7 main tears, not the tire tracks. This gets interesting. The 7 tears the Washington Post was able to find in the blue sealant line up perfectly with the lines between the sections that were painted. Remember when they were painting it blue and we were all mocking the blue color? Remember how they did it, how they painted it over like a couple weeks, and they were using rollers by hand, and they were painting squares. So like they painted a square, stopped, then painted another square, and they slowly continued as if you're painting a wall and you paint a square and then another square. Remember that? Where those squares connect, they paint a square and then they paint another square and overlap like this. Where the overlap was consistently where the paint came up. They found 7 incidents that they could find of paint coming up. 7. All 7 are where one painted blue square connected with another painted blue square. What the experts determined was what likely happened, they said, when you paint the blue stuff, whatever the hell it is, right? I mean, the story explains exactly chemically what it is. If you're not going to finish it in one segment, and you can't because the pool's too big, right? The pool's too big. If you're going to put it down and continue later, you need to continue when it's still wet. Because when it's still wet, the new you do one square, then you do another square overlapping, then you do another square overlapping. The overlap has got to be wet or it won't stick. If you do a square and it dries and then you paint it on top of it, it's not going to stick. It's got to be somewhat wet. They waited too long between the squares. So they basically painted a section, let it dry completely, and then painted another section. It was too late because the first section dried completely. It wouldn't affix to the next section. Okay, I know people say learned it on HDTV. Exactly. So that was the first problem. The second thing they also found in one section, that was 6 of the tears. One of the tears was the under sealant, same problem. First, before the blue, they put a first base layer to like fill in all the holes or whatever the hell it is, right? Whatever it is. They put a base layer. Then they put the blue on top. What they found was if you put the blue on top after the base layer has dried too completely, the base layer won't stick. Excuse me, the blue won't stick. So the blue has got to go, you put a base layer first. The base layer has still got to be somewhat moist or the blue won't stick. In the 7th area, they found the base layer was sitting there for over 24 hours, and then they put the blue, and that's why the blue didn't stick. The experts looked at it and said, this looks like it's likely what caused it. The experts did say, we'd want to look at it in person, of course, but they said this looks like what caused the problem, that basically the contractor screwed up. Now, the contractor could have screwed up because Trump ordered them to screw up, right? Trump could have said, I want it done now for my birthday, right? Who knows? But the point is, now what gets interesting is, it gets very interesting, actually. Thank you, Blue. In terms of negligence and who's to pay. Trump keeps saying, Antifa did it, right? So the contractor can say, well, I'm not responsible. Donald Trump said I did it right, and it was vandals who ruined it. So if you're the contractor, you say, I'm happy to fix it, but you're going to pay me because I didn't screw up. This is suggesting the contractor might have screwed up, maybe, maybe not. I was just thinking about this. If the contractor said, we really need to let it sit longer, right? Or whatever it is, we need to do X, Y, and Z. If Donald Trump is the one that ordered them to do it this way, then it's Trump's fault. Now, the blue, I don't think is Trump's fault. Thank you, Addie. The blue being done, first blue segment dries, second blue segment dries, that was wrong, according to the experts. That doesn't sound like Trump's fault. That sounds like the contractor's fault. What ends up being Trump's fault is the first layer. And wait, I'm trying to think of this. This wouldn't be Trump's fault. Honestly, this sounds like the contractor's fault. I was going to say, if Trump said, I want it done now, oh, hold the palm up. What am I doing? Oh, what am I doing? I think I'm trying to get a ball in there, but where's the ball? Oh. This is great. What the hell is this? There's some gift on TikTok or something that's a game. I can't do this. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's some soccer game. Oh my God. This is hard. I got one in there. How do I hold my hands up? Okay. Where's the ball? There's some game on TikTok that's the weirdest freaking thing. Where is it though? Where's the ball? Oh, Jesus. It's never going away. What is this crazy ass thing? Did somebody buy this thing? 15 seconds. Where's the damn ball? Come on. Where's the ball? Give me the damn ball. Oh man, I don't know how to get the ball to happen. Oh, how do you get the ball? Oh, you're funny, Gene. How do you get the ball to that was the weirdest. It was soccer balls. That was crazy. The only thing is I couldn't figure out how to get the balls to come out. They weren't coming out. Oh, the balls are gifts too. Oh, maybe the balls are gifts. You have to buy them. Oh, you got me nervous on that one. Well, no, I know I have to catch them in the net. I was trying to move them to the net. Oh my God, that made me so nervous. It was some soccer game, but it popped up out of nowhere, and I had to knock the ball into the net or something, and I was going, oh my God. That was crazy. That was absolutely, I've never seen that before. That was, use your feet. I know. Well, you're not supposed to use your hands, but they wanted my hands in the air. I think I was supposed to use my hands to knock it in the net. Actually, there's a question. Was I supposed to get the balls in the net or stop the balls from going in the net? Ooh, there's a question. Which one? Oh, not again. No, it's back. I don't know what it's not. Oh no, that good. Oh, I thought it was back. Don't touch the ball, or I'm stopping the ball. I'm trying to stop the ball from getting in the net. Oh, okay. So that's why I did get it right. Okay. Oh, stop the balls because it's soccer. Okay. I think you have to move your head. You catch them with your head in the net, but you can use your hands to stop it if it's going at the net, right? That's allowed. Use your head. Okay, that was crazy. Oh my God. Okay, I'm so nervous right now. That like got me. That had me like. Right, I'm the goalie, but still, it's gonna be a gong show. Honest to God, no, that just made me so freaking nervous. That was hard. They didn't explain. All it said, I got a note on my screen that said "raise your hands." I was like, okay. Oh my God, I got points when I swatted them. Okay, I did get 10 points. Okay. Whew. Oh no, stop it! Not again. See, now I'm seeing soccer balls pop up and you're making me scared. All right. We were talking about the Washington Post. Yeah, I'm the goalie. Yeah. So I was thinking whether Trump is to blame. Actually, Trump would have been telling the Washington Post, the Lincoln Memorial, right? Trump would have been ordering them to speed up. Trump would have been saying, I want it done now. That's what he does with all the jobs. If Trump ordered them to do it now, the sealant would have been wet and it would have stuck to each other better, right? The fact that they did it too slowly sounds like it wasn't Trump's fault. Going too slowly is the opposite of Trump. Well, exactly. I know, Mrs. Mahalati, but it told me on the screen to raise my hands. And I was like, okay, why? What am I doing with my hands in the air? It was very weird. In any case, yeah. So anyway, this is a cluster F, but New York Times, Washington Post, big analysis showing that it looks like the company screwed up. Oh, well. Finally, I think it's finally. Is this the final story? Because I told you I'm not going to do a ton of stories tonight because we're gonna come on back later to watch Trump's horrific election speech. Yeah, the Zelensky. So Zelensky fired his defense secretary today. It's a little confusing. So the defense secretary was Mykhailo Fedorov, who was that young guy who was the tech wizard, who then became defense secretary, which I thought was a little weird because he was a tech wizard in his 30s. Defense secretary seemed a little odd, but whatever. It's not clear what happened. It's possible he was fired. It's possible Zelensky shook things up because he was shaking things up. Fedorov, who was the defense secretary, wanted some other top guys fired, like the army, or I should say the chief of staff, and others wanted them fired. He may have given Zelensky an ultimatum that Zelensky said, no, I'm not going to do it. You can leave. I don't know. It does feel a little, I read things about the guy saying he did a good job. I will say he's young and he's a tech guy. I was a little bit worried about whether he was qualified to be defense secretary, but I read good things about what he's done. I do sometimes get a little bit of a feeling from Zelensky that there's a little too much disorder sometimes, and this feels like that disorder kind of thing that I don't like, but who the hell knows, hard to say. So that's it for the news. As I told you, I'm keeping it. We can do a couple more minutes hang out, but that's it because I'm going to be coming back on at 9:00 to see Trump's election conspiracy speech. And I want to, I don't want to lose my voice. So there. Oh no. Okay. I'm taking the world to see. Oh, this is the gift that has the funny, thank you, Santiago. This gift is funny. There's a gift on TikTok that like, only the last couple of days I've seen this. Thank you for that. It scrolls these words on the page that looks almost like a hack. It's the craziest thing. Yeah, it's very cool. Anyway. Yeah, there were protests all over. Thank you, JT. Yep. There were protests around Ukraine in favor of this guy. So I don't know. And I mean, he seems to be, excuse me. He seems to be a genius, this guy, so anyway, so who knows, the speech is at 9:00 tonight. Yeah. The boots on the ground in Iran thing. I still need to kind of do more reading on that. Trump gave some weird quote about possibly putting boots on the ground in Iran and having a ground invasion. And it was very weird. So that got people kind of worried, and a lot of journalists too. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate that. It got journalists kind of worried too that Trump was insinuating that we might do a ground invasion of Iran. Very weird. Air quality in DC appears to be okay so far. our Capital Weather, which is like the big weather people we all follow on Twitter, they were with the Washington Post, they're independent now. They said that it looked like the wildfire smoke was coming tonight to DC, and then it was going to be like code red. And like I have asthma and stuff, so I can't even go outside, which sucks, you know? And they said, keep the door shut, leave the air conditioner running. You know, it's bad. It's bad. So, I mean, I wasn't really going to go out. Well, today I wasn't going to go. I mean, today and tomorrow I wasn't going to go out necessarily. But yeah, it's very. Now, where you guys are, where anybody that's getting it bad, where are you? Now, Europeans, I'm sure you don't get it. For us, it's Canada and America. New Jersey smells like burning. DC, we had that a couple of years ago with the bad one. Michigan, Indiana, Chicago. Oh, so it's the Midwest. Florida, really? Twin Cities. So we're getting a lot of Midwest, some Philly. Oh, Philly. So it's already coming down because Philly is like Philadelphia is halfway between New York and DC. So once it hits like Philly, it's coming our way. I want to see actually if you can smell it yet outside. I don't think so. I don't think so. You know what? I will say this. There is, you can't smell it. You cannot smell it yet outside in DC. We are beginning to get a haze though. You can tell looking at the clouds, it's beginning to get hazy. But only beginning, and it doesn't smell like smoke yet. But they said tonight it's going to be bad. Code 500, is that bad? I mean, it was kind of cool in a whatever way, but it's not good for you. Yeah, our air quality, I can look and see Navy Pure smells. That's crazy. It's so weird when you can smell it, you know? Let me, I don't know if I've got the weather on my iPad. Let's see. Oh, maybe I do. Oh, I do have the weather on my iPad. Hold on. Let me see here. 95 degrees. All right, we have a heat advisory and a air advisory. Let's see the latest air quality. Has issued a code red air quality alert Friday. So for tomorrow. Code red means air pollution concentrations within the region are unhealthy for the general population. That's scary. So it's unhealthy for everybody, let alone people like me with asthma and stuff. Wow. That's scary. Wow. But I don't know what our air quality right now is 71, which is moderate. So our air quality has not kicked in yet. The air quality. Oh, I see. It's showing us on the map here. Yeah, it's beginning, but it's not yet. Yeah, it's not really here yet. So I'm looking, guys, just to see what the. Oh, that's kind of wild. Actually, that is kind of cool. Actually, I didn't realize that. Like it literally, like it gives you the breakdown of different things in the air. That's kind of wild. That's actually kind of cool on my Apple weather app. That's kind of cool. Like the actual breakdown of the various pollutants. I've never noticed that before. That's wild. Wow. That's pretty cool. Okay. That's very interesting. I've never seen it. Is kind of cool. I don't know that I'd use it, but it's very interesting, right? Very interesting. Anyway, crazy people. I'm checking my stuff here. All right, no news here. Anyway, yeah, so very bad stuff. Again, today's okay. Tonight's going to be bad, and then tomorrow, forget it. Don't know. Frank says he's hearing about Trump putting boots on the ground in Cuba. I would not be surprised if Trump tries to overthrow the Cuban government. I mean, he's already threatened to do that, and he showed in Venezuela and Iran and other places he's willing to do it. So that would not surprise me. Depends what you mean by boots on the ground. They could try to do Venezuela was boots on the ground. Venezuela, they flew people in and overthrew the government, basically, by kidnapping the leader. So they could do that in Cuba. That doesn't mean it's necessarily, right? I mean, that doesn't mean it's a 20,000 man ground invasion. right? So who knows? Who knows? 10,000 troops, that would be a lot. That would be a lot. But again, it's Trump, so who the hell knows, right? We are going to watch Trump tonight. I will come back live a little before 9 o'clock. We'll watch Trump. I don't like to give him publicity, but because of the work I do covering politics, you know, it's newsworthy, even though what Trump is going to say isn't going to be newsworthy. He's going to lie. He's going to put out a bunch of bullshit. He's going to use it to justify some very bad things as time goes on. The question Republicans are worried about, the reporting on this was very interesting, saying that Republicans are like Trump supporters are worried that he's going to go too far, which is kind of funny. Meaning he's going to riff. So he's going to start putting out beyond the regular bullshit about the election. He's just going to start bullshitting with his bullshit. You know, Martians came down and stole ballots, or you know what I mean? Like the kind of crazy, just off the cuff, crazy stuff. And they're a little afraid. And I hope he does. I mean, I hope he just goes into crazy land, you know, let's hope. But typically I will say this, they keep saying big news tonight. Usually that means total bullshit. Whenever they say it's going to be big breaking news, it's not. Trump comes out, he does stupid stuff, you know. Report while he's talking. I mean, I'm going to go live. I'll be here. I'm going to be here, like talk. We're going to be here hanging out live while he's talking. The only thing is typically I like to not talk too much while he's talking, because we had this with other things where if he's talking and then I start giving you my commentary, you can't hear the other crazy thing he said. You know what I mean? So we're going to watch, but I think we'll probably let him say his crap and then we'll hang out for 20 minutes or something and talk or whatever. You know what I mean? I think that's probably the smarter way to do it. Talk over him. No, I mean, the problem, and I've had this before with him. I did talk over him before. Something would happen and say, okay, what he just said was bullshit, up. And as I was explaining it, thank you, JMC, appreciate that. As I was explaining what Trump said, he then was saying something else that I missed. And like, I remember a couple times it was something important and I was like, shit, because people say, oh my God, you missed it. He said, blah, blah. That's my concern. That's my concern. Mods, have fun on TikTok. Right. That's my concern. That if I'm giving commentary, then if I'm giving commentary on what he's saying, then you're not going to hear what he's saying next. And we might as well hear what kind of crazy shit he's saying and then move on from there. So anyway, we'll see. But like I said, I'll be back at 9 o'clock. That's in a little over 2 hours. But as I said, we can, well, I could pause. Okay. A friend of mine, see what you guys think about this. A friend of mine said, oh, thank you, brown-eyed. A friend of mine said, why don't you just pause it? Like as Trump says stuff you want to talk about, pause it and talk about it. I said, my only concern is since he's talking live, I don't know whether that's weird for all of you guys, because I'm now way behind where he is. And all of a sudden you're getting things a little more slowly. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. What do you think about that? I'm game to do it, but I wasn't sure whether people would start to get upset because then it's not really live. You know what I mean? But like he starts talking and I immediately stop and go, wait a minute. Okay, what he just said, you know? Okay, we could do that. Well, no. See, silence is saying don't pause. Everybody else is saying pause. You know? Yeah. Well, we could do that then. Because like I said, I've done it before. Mods, make sure you actually report that person. We've got some sicko on, but make sure that person gets reported, Manda, of course, obviously. But I could try it. You know, yeah, Ms. Maladi said try it, right? Now we've got the don't pausers that are kicking in going, don't do it. Don't do it. The only thing is, which I do enjoy, see, now to some degree, I don't even like going live with you guys because I like to watch the Trump stuff. I like to see what the pundits say. For example, I'd like to hear what the election experts say first and then come on and discuss it with you guys. Because, you know, I know stuff, but I'm never going to know what like somebody who devotes their life to elections knows, right? They're going to know so much more. So that's the only thing. Like, I do like to sometimes put on the experts on CNN, hear what they say, and then kind of digest it. But we can try. I think we'll watch it. I will consider doing, 45-minute nap. Well, what I think I'll do is I'm going to stop soon so we can just rest. And I'm not going to come on for an hour later. But let's see. I may do that. I may pause. Scott Jennings, exactly. Well, Scott Jennings is not an election expert anyway. I love that Neera ripped him up. We have to get Neera back. Neera Tanden is great. Neera gets shit from people on the left sometimes. They think she's like a sellout or something. I interviewed her on my podcast. She runs the Center for American Progress, was a top Biden person at the White House. Actually, Biden nominated her for OMB director, and she didn't get it because she had tweeted too many things critical of Republican senators, and they refused to confirm her as OMB director. I mean, Neera is a big deal. But the liberals like get upset. They think Neera's a sellout or whatever. I interviewed Neera on my podcast years ago, and it was the funniest thing because she was on fire. She was talking about taking the Republicans on and destroying them. And people in the comments were like, oh my God. People were like, I never knew she was like that. But I was just thinking of that. Because Neera went after Scott Jennings the other day. God, I don't think I have I got rid of the video. Neera went after Scott Jennings. Actually, I may still have it here. Hang on a second. I think I do still have it because I retweeted it. She's a friend. I mean, Neera's a colleague and a friend, but she is fire, this woman, which is very nice because, like I said, sometimes people think, oh, Neera's like a neocon or whatever it is. And it's like, no. Let me look here and see. I think I can find this. I'm going to try to find this. Give me a minute, because it popped up last night in my feed. It might. Come on. Not always easy to find stuff on here, but let's see. I'm finding a lot of my JD Vance tweets. Hold on. I do think it came up yesterday in my feed. But it was about, like I said, Neera going out. I may be able to kind of Google it, but I think it'll be easier if I just find it in my feed if I'm lucky. Come on. 1 second, guys. It's worth it if I can find it, but on Twitter, you can never necessarily find the stuff. The Mitch McConnell AI thing still cracks me up so badly. Just absolutely cracks me up. Shoot. Oh, man. Shoot, it was just a couple days ago. Now I don't know if I'm going to find this. Shoot. I can Google it. I can probably Google it and find. Oh, sorry, my Google went off when I said that. I can probably Google it and find it. All right, I'm about to give up here, and I think I'm going to Google it. Shoot. All right. I'm going to look at my priority quickly because maybe it'll pop up there. Might pop up here. Harry Sisson. We still have to get Harry on the show. Oh my God, this is driving me crazy. I hate trying to find stuff, like I said, on Twitter. Oh, here we go. Okay, this is 1 minute long. Wait.
These things, the Democrats knew 98%. I think you're right. He's never actually taken accountability for any of these things. The Democrats knew 98% of the things.
He's talking about Plattner, the guy in Maine, the Democratic candidate who had all the problems, right?
We knew about Graham Plattner. We knew before the Democrats voted in the primary in Maine, and they still voted for him.
98% is a lot. Look, there were lots of Democrats who had some concerns. I definitely got yelled at for my concerns. So I want to be clear about that. I have to say, I'm not going to accept lectures from people who support Donald Trump, who was credibly accused by 13 women of sexual assault, who are listening to women. Okay? Other people can talk about this, but people who stand up for Trump every day as he's faced those assaults on any side should not be throwing egg at the Democratic Party. It is unfortunate. It is unfortunate that some people were willing to look past some of these things. But the Democratic Party has done something different than the Republican Party, which is they have, let me finish. Sure. They are finally acting against a candidate who is credibly accused. He's not found guilty, but credibly accused of assault. And that is very different than what has happened under Donald Trump's presidency and the Republican Party.
I was just going to ask.
See, but then she basically is talking about Scott. She goes, I am not going to sit here and take a lecture from somebody who defends Donald Trump. Yeah, that's Neera. Neera's amazing. That's what I mean. Neera is, and like I said, she gets shit from the far left because they have no idea how strong she is. Yeah, no, I'm going to definitely get her on the show again because Neera's, assuming she's on TikTok. I don't know if she is, but I've had her on the podcast a couple times. She's delicious on the podcast because she is boom, 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 boom. She's on, well, I mean, she's not like a social media person, right? But she's on, CNN a lot. And as I said, she runs for the Center for the American Progress and has for years. She's great. She's great. I will get her. You guys will see what I mean. Neera is just boom, boom, boom. Great. It's really, yeah. But yeah, I love that, crushing Scott. Anybody, well, it's like, and who was it that crushed? Oh, it was Mockler who crushed Scott the other day. Neera Tanden, Neera, and then Tanden, Tanden. Yep, she's really good. Oh, SpaceX calls off the launch. Oh, well. Yeah, she's the thing is, she's viciously like, talk to Neera about what we should do, and she's like, destroy them. I mean, she's like, boom, kind of politics. Yep, that's exactly her name, Adult Slime, exactly. It's an I'm sure it's an Indian name. I'm pretty sure she's of Indian extraction, 99% sure. Right? Neera is right. Neera is Indian name, I'm sure. Anyway. Oh, I know Greece is always getting the crazy wildfires. All right, guys. I think we call it quits because we're almost at the hour 15-minute mark anyway. I'm coming back in 2 hours. We're going to watch and do commentary on Trump's crazy election stuff. I will. I may or may not, like I said, I may or may not stop while he's talking to weigh in. It's also possible, again, we'll be back in 2 hours, so come back in 2 hours, all of these platforms. It is also possible that as Trump is talking, he may bring up stuff that I have no idea what he's talking about because he's going to lie. And he may bring up lies that we go, what the fuck's he talking about? In that case, it's hard to respond to it. So I'm still not sure if maybe like we put on CNN and get some of the experts to weigh in about, or even or Twitter, where we actually see Indian, Greek, and Arabic. Oh, that's interesting. Interesting. You know what I mean? So let's see. Just because I'm a little nervous that he's going to start talking about stuff that I have no idea, that it's bullshit, but it's bullshit that I don't know anything about. You know, see you for the Gong Show. Exactly. I'll be doing YouTube too. Yeah, I'll do YouTube, YouTube, TikTok, Substack, Discord. We'll do all four. All right. Let's talk later, guys. I'll see you in 2 hours. Okay. All right. See you guys. I'll try to set it up now so it's sitting there. I may stop it. We'll see. All right. I'm going to try to set it up now so that it's on the platforms ready to go. Hopefully. Let me try to do that right now. All right, guys. I will see you later tonight. Let me, oops. All right. Choom. Yeah, I'll set it up now so it's actually in the thing. So that way, boop. All right. Oops. Oh, did Instagram not work tonight? Maybe it did. I don't know. All right. Oops. End stream. All righty.